Author's note. This video is my review of Space Jam: A New Legacy, based on the iconic Looney Tunes Merrie Melodies characters, directed by Malcolm D. Lee, published by Warner Bros., Proximity Media, and the Spring Hill Company, originally available on HBO Max on July 16, 2021. Starring LeBron James, Cedric Joe, Soniqua Martin Green, Sayre J. Wright, Harper Leigh Alexander, and Don Cheadle as Al-G Rhythm. Featuring the voices of Jeff Bergman, Eric Bauza, Bob Bergen, Candy Milo, Gabriel Iglesias, Fred Tatasciore, Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard, Clay Thompson, Nneka Okumike, Diana Taurasi, Justin Roiland, Rosario Dawson, and Zendaya as Lola Bunny. Rated PG. This video also contains a re-review of the original Space Jam, directed by Joe Pytka, published by Warner Bros. Animation, available on HBO Max and 4K Blu-ray, starring Michael Jordan, Wayne Knight, Charles Barkley, Shawn Bradley, Patrick Ewing, Larry Johnson, Muggy Bogues, and Bill Murray as himself. Also starring the voices of Billy West, D. Bradley Baker, Bob Bergen, Bill Farmer, June Foray, Maurice LaMarche, Kath Soucie, Dorian Harewood, Joey Common, T.K. Carter, Darnell Studdles, Steve Kahela, and Danny DeVito as Mr. Swackhammer. Rated PG.
Oh, look out for that first step, Doc. It's a real Lulu.
All right, here. Now say, I'm hunting rabbits. And try to chase me.
Everybody get up, slam now. We got the real jam.
Well, folks, never thought I would see today where I would review a Space Jam sequel. I know you're excited for the main event, but before we dive into our review of Space Jam: A New Legacy, let's go back in time and re-review the first Space Jam. The Nerdlucks are threatening to take the Looney Tunes back to Moron Mountain, even going as far as to acquire the powers of the infamous NBA All-Stars. With the help of Michael Jordan, the Looney Tunes must make their stand in an all-out basketball game.
You want to play a little one-on-one, doll?
Doll?
Uh-huh.
I said it in the last time I reviewed this film that my major beef was that the Looney Tunes didn't get that much attention, and I stand by this statement. Sure, Bugs and Daffy got a lot of screen time, but I wouldn't mind seeing the others get some attention as well. Sylvester, Tweety, Wile-E, Elmer, Yosemite Sam, Pepe Le Pew, Taz, even newcomer Lola Bunny, who I thought should have been a bit ditzier, much like her latter counterparts in the Looney Tunes show and New Looney Tunes. By the way, don't call her Doll unless you want a concussion. One other thing that I noticed is how optimistic Michael Jordan was in the movie. It's like he never lost his A game and always encouraged the Toonsters to not give up. Basically, he was the man who gave off a boatload of innovation to keep you going when you're in your darkest hour. And this is despite the fact that, during this time, he played baseball and he sucked raw eggs at it. I kinda wish he had some kind of conflict within him. But then again, he does prove to be a loving, caring father towards his kids.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
I said a lot about Stan from the first review, and my stance still stands. No pun intended. Like I said, he was a stalker back then, and he was also made to be the butt monkey in this film. He must have taken a lot of inspiration from Dennis Nerdy of Jurassic Park fame. Though on the flip side, Bill Murray did get to hog the spotlight in this film just for being, well, Bill Murray. I mean, he was no Ghostbuster, nor was he a lasagna-eating cat this time around, but he still shined for the most random reason ever. By the way, what kind of moron confuses him with Dan Aykroyd?
I wet myself.
Speaking of moron, I said last time that the Monstars stole the spotlight, and they still do that. While Mr. Swackhammer is that typical corrupt corporate executive with the windpipes of Danny DeVito, it's these 5 mutated Nerdlucks who wind up becoming the bane of the Merrie Melodies. And I did say that these 5 gave Bugs and his pals a run for their Oscars. Their Nerdluck forms aren't too shabby, as they happen to have a bit of looniness in them. And personally, I wouldn't mind seeing them in even more Warner Bros. Projects, like Teen Titans Go sees Space Jam. Yeah, that actually happened.
play some basketball.
Though my opinion on the original Space Jam has diminished a bit, it's still a fun and enjoyable film that puts Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Michael Jordan, Lola Bunny, and the rest of the gang into one of the most bizarre and wacky stories of the 90s. It's something to consider if you happen to have that Looney Tunes itch. But then again, the classic shorts still hold up to this day. And now, it's time for the main event, Space Jam, A New Legacy. You all ready for this? Just don't be angry at me over this review, okay? LeBron James has had a difficult struggle with his own son, Dom James. But when a computer AI called Algae Rhythm kidnaps Dom, LeBron is trapped in the serververse and must recruit Bugs Bunny and the Looney Tunes to get his son back.
Here's to Lady Checker Twitter.
Abuela, let's do this.
I'm going to have to say this. I wish this movie were more about the serververse than the basketball game. I mean, sure, the main event took the basketball game to a level that would make a gamer blush, but at the same time, there is a crossover geek within me that really wanted to see the Looney Tunes dive deeper into the other Warner Brothers properties, like how Ready Player One pulled off its mass crossover. I'm not kidding. Even if they have to drag in familiar faces like George Newbern and Kevin Conroy for their respective DC characters. And while I did think the CGI for the Toon Squad looked impressive, nothing beats the charm of traditional 2D animation, which is a shame since we're seeing it less and less, day by day.
I'm shorter than Kevin Hart. No.
This is going to hurt Space Jam purists a bit more, but I like LeBron James' story more over Michael Jordan's story. It's all about him trying to reach out to his son and the problems he faced that not only distanced him from Dominic James, but also put a lot of burden on the other Looney Tunes. It's a common theme that I see with him, even when he pairs up with characters like Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and Lola Bunny. Over time, he does learn that it's not about putting one's expectations about others, but it's more about letting the person be himself or herself, about embracing a strength instead of handicapping yourself to someone's expectations. And it's something I keep forgetting as a human, every time.
Finally, I shall get my...
The one complaint I had about the original was that the Looney Tunes weren't used much. This movie does address it in a way where Bugs and the gang get more screen time. Daffy gets more loonier and self-centered, Porky's got some hidden talent, Wily and the Roadrunner team up, Lola gets to show off more, and even some unexpected allies join in like Gossamer and Speedy Gonzales. A shame there's no Pepe Le Pew or Penelope Pussycat. On the flip side of all the tunes, Granny wound up getting some major attention from me. She went from a cheerleader in the original to a butt-kicking senior who puts the others to shame. Can we get her on Looney Tunes shorts where she gets to be as much of a badass?
King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
The only main reason why Algae Rhythm is in this movie is because Don Cheadle gets to ham it up in many ways possible. But even so, I enjoyed him as a villain. What I liked about him was the charm he used to get Dominic James to his side and just to pull at his strings to turn the youngster against his dad. But he's also full of himself and desires attention and fame, often showcasing jealousy towards LeBron James. And this is the guy who played War Machine in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. On a side note, while the Goon Squad is not as charming as the Monstars, they still got some nice personality that would fit a suitcase. Not great, but not bad either.
I'll never erase what I saw from my brain. It's your problem now, Dum-Dum.
I'm sorry to say this to longtime Space Jam fans, considering I'm one myself, but I actually enjoyed Space Jam: A New Legacy over the original. I liked the conflict with LeBron James, I liked how the Looney Tunes got more attention, I liked Don Cheadle hamming it up, and I liked this whole Ready Player One style crossover. By the way, think I should review Looney Tunes Back in Action in the future, or other Looney Tunes projects? Message me in the comments below, and I'll consider it.